Veranda IAS, where your dream becomes reality. Hello everyone, welcome to the daily current affair analysis from Veranda IAS. Today we are going to see some of the important current affair from the day of 29th of June 2023. Moving on to the topics of the day. So as usual, we'll be discussing some questions from 2023 prelims. And after the question discussion, we'll be moving on to the topic biofertilizer scheme gets government green light, which can be mapped to GS3 direct and indirect farm subsidies and also GS2 government policies and interventions. The next topic will be 2-day long Hemis Monastery Festival is being celebrated in Ladakh, which can be mapped to GS1 horticulture. The next topic is about India ranked 67th place on energy transition index, which can be mapped to GS3 economies, as well as the different indices which is being published by the different international organization, which can be mapped to GS2 also. Okay, let us move on to the question discussion from 2023 prelims. So the question is, consider the following statement. First statement says, the Supreme Court of India has held in some judgments that the reservation policies made under Article 16(4) of the Constitution of India would be limited by Article 335 for maintenance of efficiency of administration. Let us see statement 2. Article 335 of the Constitution of India defines the term efficiency of administration. So which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? So the first statement is both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. Statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. The third option is statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. And the fourth statement is statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So we have to go for analysis of this question. So here you should understand that the idea that reservation runs counter or opposite to the efficiency and merit that has been raised frequently in news or else by different individuals or different period of time. And in some of its ruling, the Supreme Court of India even seemed to have agreed with this argument, holding that the mention of efficiency of administration especially in the Article 335 will restrict the applicability of Article 16(4)'s provision for reservation in the services. Okay, so we can see that the first statement is correct. Now, the claims of the members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes shall be taken into consideration consistent with the maintenance of administrative efficiency in the making of appointment to services and posts in connection with the affairs of the union or of a state. So this is what Article 335 of the Indian Constitution says. So here you should understand that in that article it clearly mentions only about what the efficiency of administration. It is not defining what is meant by the efficiency of administration. So the second statement is incorrect. So the right answer to this question is option C, that is statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Okay, so why this question was asked in prelims 2023? Because almost all the time in the news, this issues or the concerns about the reservation and how it is acting as a counter to the efficiency of administration is always there in the news, especially in the editorial analysis. So we can see that's any news or topics related to reservation, and these articles like that of 335 as well as 16(4) are very, very important when it comes to prelims, or else we can say that it is very important for UPSC civil service examination. Let us move on to the analysis of this news. Biofertilizer scheme gets government green light. So what is the context? So the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, or the CCEA, on Wednesday approved the PM Pranam scheme, a promise that was made in the last budget. So what is this PM Pranam? It stands for Prime Minister Promotion of Alternate Nutrients for Agriculture Management. So now let us see what is the object of this PM Pranam. So this scheme, it aims to reduce the subsidy burden on chemical fertilizers of the government. Because why? Even though it is a chemical fertilizer, the government has to give subsidies in order to incentivize the farmers for more production, right? So that subsidy burden have to be reduced. It is the main objective of this PM Pranam. So it is expected to increase by 39% to 2.25 lakh crores in 2022 to 2023 when we compare it to 1.62 lakh crore in the previous year. So we can see that is a 39% increase which is going to come. So this scheme aims to discourage the chemical fertilizer use and promote this kind of sustainable agricultural practices as well. Okay, now let us proceed further and understand the need for this PM Pranam scheme. So the need for fertilizers has grown recently as per the government statistics. That is a proven fact. That is the combined demand for urea, MOP. What is MOP? Muriate of potash, DAP, that is diammonium phosphate, and NPKs, everyone knows nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So increased by 21% between 2017-18 and 2021-22. That means between these years, we can see an increase of demand increase of 21% for the combined fertilizers. So the overall expenditures on subsidies also increased due to this increased demand for fertilizers over the past 5 years. So whenever the demand for the fertilizer increases, definitely the government has to meet the demand for the subsidies also, right? So the PM Pranam seeks to reduce the chemical fertilizer use and thus reduce the burden on the exchequer. So if we reduce the use of the chemical fertilizers by the farmers, definitely it will reduce the burden of the government also. Also, it is in line with the government's focus to promote alternative fertilizers or the balanced use of fertilizers in the last few years. Now let us see some of the features of the PM Pranam scheme. So the scheme will be financed by the savings of existing fertilizer subsidy under the schemes run by the Department of Fertilizer Schemes and will not have a separate budget. So this is the operational perspective of how the subsidies are going to be delivered. Then 50% subsidy savings will be given as grant to the state that saves the money, and such kind of subsidies that have been saved by the state, out of that 70% of the grant will be given under the scheme for asset creation. What is it related to? Related to alternate fertilizer production. That is, rather than having a chemical fertilizer, we can go for a kind of natural fertilizers, and technological adoption of alternate fertilizer units at the block, village, and also at the district level. And also we can see the states can use the remaining 30% of the grant money to incentivize panchayats, farmer producer organization, farmers, and also self-help groups involved in awareness generation and also reducing the fertilizer use. The government would compare a state's reduction or a state's increase in urea in a particular year to its average consumption of urea during the last 3 years. This is how the government is going to compare a state's reduction or increase in the urea consumption. And not only that, who is going to manage the data of all this? The data on a fertilizer ministry dashboard called as IFMS, that is Integrated Fertilizers Management System, would be used to collect the state's urea consumption data also. So this is the how the operational perspective of this scheme is going to take place. Now let us see, with respect to UPSC point of view, what are the benefits of this kind of a scheme. Definitely it will promote the reduced use of chemical fertilizers. So we all know that usage of the chemical fertilizers is very dangerous for the soil and also for the coming years productivity of agriculture. So it would promote using other nutrients and fertilizer, including that of the natural nutrients. Then the reduced use of chemical fertilizers, it may improve soil quality in the long run and also will enhance the yield and productivity of the Indian agriculture, which will definitely a boost to the green revolution which is going to happen. Then excessive exposure to chemical fertilizers affects human health. Yes, because we can see that during at the time of rainy season, these kind of chemical fertilizers will be drained into the kind of water bodies like that of wells, rivers, lakes. So it is going to pave way for different diseases, chronic diseases like cancers and the diseases that cause due to DNA damage, and it would promote a safe work environment also. Then environment pollution due to chemical fertilizers can pollute water bodies, leading to algal bloom and also affect aquatic life and the aquatic ecosystem. And this scheme would prevent environmental damage happening because of the use of chemical fertilizers. So how can we conclude about the issues of this topic? The PM Pranam scheme could be a game changer for the agriculture industry, and it would definitely encourage natural farming, lower the burden of subsidies on the government, increase the yield, and also encourage the states to carry on forward with the natural fertilizers or nutrients, and thus will be able to reduce the impact of chemical fertilizers on the environment. Okay, so like that, we'll be able to conclude this topic. Let us move on to the next topic. 2-day long Hemis Monastery Festival is being celebrated in Ladakh. So the annual Hemis Monastery Festival, known as a Hemis Cheshu, is being celebrated with great religious fervor and gaiety. And Hemis Festival is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Guru Padma Sambhava. So on the occasion, what all things will be happening? Grand prayers, performance of sacred mass dances, and also exhibition of tanka or mural paintings are being held. Then this centuries old monastic festival is one of the major attractions for different foreign tourists who visit Ladakh during this time to witness the grand Hemis Monastery Festival. And this colorful festival falls on 10th day of the Tibetan lunar month also. So you can see a pictorial representation of the event which is also happening, which was news from All India Radio. Then moving on to the next topic. India ranks 67th place on Energy Transition Index. So who is releasing this energy transition index? The World Economic Forum released the energy transition index on 28th of June. And what is the statistics? Sweden attained on the top of the energy transition index 2023. Denmark, Norway, Finland, and Switzerland are in the top 5 of the ranking. So whereas France stands in the 7th spot, that is the only G20 country in the top 10 of the ranking. That is a kind of a amazing factor. And World Economic Forum has released a report in collaboration with the firm called as Accenture, and the global energy transition has slowed down amid the global energy crisis and geopolitical volatilities. So what is this energy transition? That is, rather than depending on the fossil fuels, we'll be using what? Other kind of renewable energy resources as that is the like shift which is going to happen. So like this index released by the World Economic Forum is based on the transition which is happening from the non-renewable energy resources to the renewable energy resources, which is promoted and taken up by different nations. And as per the report, India is the only major economy which has accelerated across equitable, secure, and sustainable dimensions of the energy transition index. India is faring well, and India has successfully reduced the energy intensity of its economy and also the carbon intensity of its energy mix in spite of continued economic growth. We are showing a very good economic growth, but at the same time, we are also focusing on the transition of energy and also stop any kind of use of this kind of non-renewable energy resources, and thus create pollution for the world. Universal access to electricity has been achieved in India by replacing the solid fuels with the cleaner cooking options. Yes, that is there. Then India's performance has improved mainly due to the deployment of renewable energy. International Solar Alliance, right, ISA, is one of the greatest example which we can say about it. The pace of the thermal power plant expansion has considerably slowed in India, and India emerged as one of the least affected countries by the recent energy crisis. Why India got least affected? Mainly because of the low share of natural gas in power generation. Besides India, Singapore is the only country which shown energy transition momentum. The index has ranked totally of 120 countries. Out of them, 113 have made progress in the last decade. 55 countries, including India, have made remarkable progress by improving their score by more than 10 percentage points. Also, India is faring very well out of the 120 countries. Okay. Now let us see about the question of the day. Which Indian state is known for the Himes Monastery Festival, a vibrant celebration of Tibetan Buddhism? Himachal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Ladakh. So we can see that it is in the Ladakh. Okay. Yes. So with that, we have come to the conclusion of today's current affair analysis. So unless and until we meet next time, this is Prince J signing off. Thank you.